I'm Nicole PW and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Guys, it's nearly 2 a.m. but you know what, I really want to upload a YouTube video tomorrow, and I've been trying to film a YouTube video for 2 weeks, but vlogging is obviously not my forte because I can't remember to do it. So I thought I'd hit you guys with partially what I'm known for, and that is a story time. I do have clothes on, so you know, if you thought that this was like a little saucy story time, it's not really. It's actually quite traumatizing, so let's be serious. Guys, I've been meaning to tell this story for a very long time. Because it's a very interesting story, right? But I always said to myself, this story is for YouTube only. I don't think it was even, it is too good for TikTok. It is too good for TikTok, and it is too long to fit everything in for TikTok. So I thought, you know what, as my first YouTube story time, I'm going to do this story. So I met this boy, my ex-boyfriend. I don't like to call him that because he's quite disgusting, quite frankly. But I met him in year 8, right? I just want to clarify something before people that actually know about the situation, right? In year 8, I didn't get no tings, guys. You have to take that into consideration. I didn't get no tings because I look like this. I don't know if I can put a picture up on the screen. Please, oh my god! Hopefully I can't. But I look like this. I didn't get no tings, right? And I had this friend. I apologize to this friend all the time about the situation. I had this friend and she was going out with this boy. Her and the boy broke up. Everyone was saying that the boy was starting to like me. And I asked her, like, would it be okay? I hate talking about this. I asked her, like, would it be okay to chat to him? And she said yes. But everyone knows that you don't chat to your friends' exes. I wouldn't do it now. God forbid. I would never do that now. But in year 8, I was desperate. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I can admit it. Do you get what I'm saying? That was, what, 6 years ago? I was desperate. I didn't get no ting. So if a boy was showing interest in me, I was going to hear it. And obviously she was like, it was fine, it's fine. And then obviously she decided it was not fine. But I ended up going out with a boy anyway, right? I met him when it was her boyfriend. Guys, this is so disgusting. I met him when he was her boyfriend. And quite honestly, as I said, I went to an all-girls school. I was ugly. I didn't go anywhere. My friends were wet. Options were very limited. And you know what, it got you points in an all-girls school if you had a boyfriend. You get what I'm saying? Everyone who went to an all-girls school knows that if you're chatting to man, that got you points. So I was looking for some points, clearly, and I have a type, and my type has never ever changed. My type is tall, lanky, Jamaican or Nigerian boys, right? With either waves or with hair, but I mostly prefer waves. So obviously he was matching that criteria in year 8, guys. The face wasn't doing what the face needed to do, but I didn't care because he was like, in year 8, he was like 6'1", Jamaican, dark skin, waves. As I said, let's not talk about the face. But yeah, so in my head I was like, yeah, this is a shout. So anyway, I started chatting to him, yada yada yada. He cuffed me. This is so disgusting. I remember, guys, yeah, we went on a double date to Casper's with my friend and his friend, yeah, and they all went to the same primary school. I didn't go to their primary school. And we went to Casper's, the one in Catford, because at the time that was really the only Casper's that was about. And as a man, like, on a day he should pay for me, but he didn't. So I went to pay for my my cookie dough. My card actually declined. But thank God I was by myself. But anyway, that wasn't necessary to the story. I didn't need to embarrass myself further. But yeah, my card declined in Casper's for cookie dough. Mind you, cookie dough used to be £4.95 back in the day, and my card declined. That is saying a lot. And but I had like a little £5 note because I used to get pocket money. Had a little £5 note in my bag that I used to pay for the Caspers. Anyway, so me and him were going out. I would leave my house at 7 a.m. every morning to go to the bus stop because he would get the bus he would get the bus to the station and then get the train to his school. And I could get one bus from my house to school that was 15 minutes. But me, I'm fast up. So I used to meet my other friends at that bus stop, the same one that he was at, but I would meet them later. So I would meet him at like, let's say 7:15. I'd be chilling with him in the bus stop. And then I would walk to my friend's house, and then we would walk back to the bus stop, and then we would get on the bus to school. This is how you know travel was free back in the day. So anyway, I was doing that for a while, guys. I was doing it for like a good few months. I would say, I think we were going out for like 3 months altogether, if I can remember. No, maybe 2. Yeah, we were going out, and I obviously liked him apparently. But yeah, we were going out or whatever. Everyone kind of knew. I then ended up beefing like that friend, his original girlfriend, because, you know, she was chatting. She had the right to chat, but at the time I was like, well, why would you say it was okay? But, you know, girl code, Nicole, you don't chat to your friends' exes. And that's the only time I ever did it, guys. I'm very sorry. So anyway, I was going out with him, and then he breaks up with me. I'm not gonna lie, he breaks up with me, and I felt it. I felt it. I wasn't in love. I didn't cry. I didn't really get upset. I'm very detached from my emotions most of the time. So it was kind of like, okay, he broke up with me. And then I had to tell everyone that he broke up with me. And it was so embarrassing. Guys, oh, this story is making me cringe. Okay, it was so embarrassing because I was like, oh my god, like I've just been gassing about this relationship. I'm beefing my friend over you, and then you go and break up with me. It's how you know I was a man clown. I was a yamed. So I was just like, you know what? Cool. So he breaks up with me, and he wants to just be civil, but me myself, I can't take rejection. I never have been able to take rejection, so I don't put myself in situations where I can be rejected. So he sent me like a paragraph over Snapchat, same thing that he did to her, by the way, when he broke up with her, basically saying like he's not ready or whatever the hell he was talking about. I aired the message because, what do you want me to say? I wasn't mature enough to come up with a response to that. And then he was like, Nicole, question mark. I just didn't respond, and then I screenshotted it and sent it to my GC. So yeah, so then I think me and him started beefing. I can't really remember. Me and him were beefing, and then we'd be calm, and then we'd be beefing again. But guys, all this time, right, I wasn't getting any male attention because of the state of me, right? If I can put a picture, I'll put the picture. No, this is a trigger warning, guys. Oh my god. Because of the state of me, I wasn't getting any male attention, so I was kind of still harboring the attention that I was getting from him before, because he wasn't paying me any attention. Now he didn't care about me. I remember one time I saw him on the road and I literally ran, not because I was scared, but because I was like, oh my god, that's just so awkward. So I would still be thinking about him. Like, I would still be like up in his business, wanting to know, because obviously we had mutuals, wanting to know what was going on with him, because I wasn't getting no talking time. But obviously as a 6-foot-odd black boy, you are getting talking time. So I was knowing what was going on with who was going out with. I wouldn't say that I still liked him, but one thing about me, if I can't have it, I want it even more. So because I knew he didn't want me, kind of low-key made me want him more. I'll be so real. But no, he didn't give a toss about me. I remember we were beefing. Sometimes we were calm. Even, guys, yeah, he broke up with me in like, let's say like the November. He broke up with me in the November. And then I told him to come to my friend's birthday party when we were together, when we were in a relationship that was in the December. He breaks up with me, then has the audacity to ask me to send him the invite for the party. And me, of course, I sent it because I wanted to see him. So even that was still in year 8, and I remember me and him were like playing back and forth, and we were joking around, and this is how I knew that the boy had violent tendencies that we will later see come to play in the story. He picked up a full Lucozade bottle, and you know when you shake a fizzy bottle and it gets hard, and he threw it at my head. He threw it at my head, and it actually hit me in the head. Yeah, and I was really upset, and I left the party early. I left my own friend's party early because of him. But yeah, when we were together, he literally told me he loved me the day after we got together, but that was in year 8, but no one wants to talk about that. Everyone just wants to make me seem like the crazy ex. So I was still up in his business. but I kind of like, he kind of faded to the back of my mind. I still wasn't getting male attention, by the way, because I was disgusting looking. Insert picture here.
I'm sorry guys, this is the last one. I promise.
I still wasn't getting male attention, but I just kind of like found it and kept it moving. So then his younger sister joined our school, and I was actually friends with his younger sister, because you see how I told you I would go to that bus stop. I would obviously go later because I don't want to see him, but I would still kind of see, like, she lived in the same area obviously, so she would get on the bus, and I actually became friends with her. Like, I saw her as like kind of like a little sister. Like, she was so sweet, she was so cute. But that's what I thought in it. She's a nice little girl. So yeah, so I'm kind of moved on. I don't really care for him much anymore. But he goes to this church, right? He goes to this church at the end of my road, like literally at the end of my road, as in my house is here and the church is here. So he will go there for like Friday youth club, and then like obviously Sunday church. And obviously I told you we have mutual. So we had a friend, let's call her Brownie. Let's call her Brownie because that used to be in her username, right? We had a mutual friend called Brownie, and Brownie saw him as like a brother. Like, that was her brother. They went to the same primary school. Their families were very close. That was like her brother. Mind you, I met these guys in year 7. These guys have known each other since reception. So let's call him Bulb, because there's not a light bulb switched on in there. Let's call him Bulb, right? So obviously she will kind of be giving me the tea of what's going on between him and Bulb on the low, even though that's kind of snaky because that was her brethren, but that's what she was doing. She was giving me the low, like who Bulb was going out with at the time, and yada yada yada. So within that church, it was like a Nicole hate club, right? My mom says, I'm like, Mama, you either love me or you hate me. Within that church, there was kind of a Nicole hate club. So there was obviously Bulb, my ex-boyfriend who I was beefing. Then there was his best friend, who was the one I went on the double date with. I'm gonna call him Illuminati because his head is the shape of the Illuminati triangle. And I remember on that double date, right, I went through Bulb's phone, and you know, on like WhatsApp and on iMessage you can search up a word. So I searched up my name to see how my name had been brought into conversations, and Bulb and Illuminati were having a conversation about me, and the conversation was Illuminati telling Bulb he shouldn't have broken up with my friend, let's call her Card, because I can see a card on the wall. Shouldn't have broken up with Card, and the Card is better looking than me, and that I'm just not it, which I can admit I wasn't at the time, but none of us were. Let's be real, none of us were. So I was like, I don't like Illuminati from there. But what we didn't know, guys, is Illuminati was saying that because he was in love with Card. Illuminati was actually in love with Card. Illuminati loved white gal, and he later on started chatting to Card. But we didn't know this at the time. I just thought Illuminati is like, he's a bitch. Like, why are you talking about me like that? Like, that's so rude. And Bulb begged me not to say anything, but I had a little vendetta against Illuminati from that day, and he didn't like me either. So when I don't like someone, it's very obvious that I don't like them. So I couldn't then go and pretend that I liked him when I didn't. Do you get what I'm saying? So there was the little Nicole hate club. Let me go back to that. So there was my ex, Bulb, and then there was Illuminati, and then there was this girl called Blackers. I'm going to call her Blackers because when I first met her, she had black teeth in primary school. So Blackers, right? Me and Blackers were friends. And it was a little trio. Me, Blackers, and let's call her Fanta because her last name rhymes with Fanta. So Fanta, right? These nicknames I'm struggling to keep up myself. I'm really sorry if this is getting a bit too mixy and twisty, but you need to know the context behind it. 30 minutes in and I haven't even got to the story. So Blacker, yeah, she, after I left my first primary school, she used to be chatting about me to Fanta. Mind you, we didn't have social media or anything back then. We are in year 3 and year 4, and she's chatting about me. So I was just like, kind of like, I don't like her because why is she talking about me? She was calling me like Thomas the Tank Engine. Like, what about me is Thomas the Tank Engine? So I didn't like her, and she didn't like me. And then when we went into year 7, she got her brethren to be texting my phone saying, do you know who this is? I said, I don't know who this is. They said, it's your worst nightmare. It was like, I know what door number you live at, yada, yada, yada. I can't remember how we got to the bottom of it, but it turns out that they were all at a sleepover. I stopped being friends with Fanta by this time. I stopped being friends with Fanta in year 7. So Fanta and Blackheart and some other girls from that same church at the end of the road were at a sleepover, and they were like, oh, text your worst enemy or whatever. Mind you, me and Blacker hadn't had a conversation in years, but she didn't have anyone else that she disliked, so she decided to use me, and she admitted that herself. The girl was a weirdo, and the whole church was filled with weirdos. But my friend Brownie went to the church. So fast forward from year 8 to year 11 now. I don't talk to these people. I don't have any contact with these people, but obviously they all know who I am. They all know who I am because obviously there's a little Nicole hate group. Like, so I was just like, I didn't care. I didn't care for them. In the summer holidays of year 10, I had my low-key glow up, guys. I had my low-key glow up. Insert picture here. It wasn't great, but it was good for the time. Got my first wig. I was feeling myself. I was learning how to do makeup. Got confidence within myself because I was drifting away from the toxic friendship group that I was in. Full of one of the girls who were in love with me. I used to try and drag down my confidence, and the rest of them had self-image issues. I used to project them onto me because it's always been hot girl vibes and I've always been confident. But I just went away from them, started to find my confidence. But I was still friends with them, right? I had like 2 friendship groups. So Brownie is like, cool, I want to have a 16th birthday party. Immediately no. Because I know who her closest friends are, and they are her closest friends. Like, I'll be real, they are her closest friends. I know who her closest friends are, and I was like, immediately no. I also have to provide a little bit more context before I can properly dive into the story. I'm really sorry. So I was in a large friendship group. Were you guys ever in those big ass friendship groups in secondary school? And low-key, no one really liked each other. Like, you had 2 people in the friendship group that you liked. Yeah, that was me. I was in some massive friendship group with a bunch of weirdo girls, right? One of them, I'm going to call her Tillicum, because she looks like Tillicum, the whale from, I don't know if you guys ever watched the documentary Blackfish about the killer whale. Yeah, I call her Tillicum because the way her mouth, she had like an extreme overbite, and she looked like Tillicum the whale. So Tillicum, a bunch of other girls, basically they tried to sit me down one day at the breakfast table and tell me things that I need to change about myself. Can you imagine? You guys, your friendship group sits you down, and half the friendship group is telling you things you need to change about yourself, and the other half aren't saying, okay, this is a bit weird, why are you just sitting someone down and telling them that? Or, you know, if you don't like someone, then maybe don't be friends with them. When they were doing the exact same thing as me. So then I cut off that friendship group, but there were 2 girls. I'm going to call them Tweedledee and Tweedledum because they look exactly the same. And their birthdays are like literally a week apart. So they were in that group that told me to change stuff about myself. And within that group, right, so the big friendship group from year 10, I pulled like a group of us came away and was still friends, right? But they were very, very toxic. They're very, very toxic. But we were still friends, right? And that was like kind of my group. And then summer holidays year 10, I had another group who I then was with more than them, and they kind of started to get a bit jealous. But it was because they actually made me feel good about myself. The group that I pulled out of the big group, they were very toxic, used to put me down about the way I looked and everything, even my body. And it's been hot girl vibes from day. Are you insane? She was like, I want to have a 16th birthday party. I was like, no. And she said that she wanted to do it in the church at the end of my road. So I was kind of like, I'm not really sure about this. And she was like, no, like, I've talked to them, Nicole, none of them have a problem with you. Like, honestly, like, it was years ago. There's no sort of problem whatsoever. Like, it will be fine. It will be good. So me, like the idiot that I am, take her word for it. And I'm like, okay, like, it's going to be good then. But it was my uncle's 60th birthday party at my house that day. And I had family from all over the place, from Italy, Jamaica, Birmingham, all coming down to my house, because my house is, you know, party central, to celebrate my uncle's birthday. So I was like, I'm going to have to split my time between the 2 parties. So I'd spend a little bit of time at my house and then literally walk 2 seconds down the road and then be at her party and do back and forth. So we're all 15. I've literally turned 15 in the June. It's in September. But the first time we all ever got drunk was at my 15th birthday party in the June. And then we'd gotten drunk like 2 times after that, let's say. So I was like, cool, this is gonna be fine. She said you can bring your own alcohol. I remember, and she tries to lie to this day and say that she didn't say this. Brownie said you can bring your own alcohol, but I will not be providing it. Cool, standard. As a 15-year-old, I was like, Garrett, are you mad? Party, alcohol. I know I can grab a bottle of Ray's from my yard and fill up my bottle. So I was like, I'm good. Like, it's cool. So I get to the party and I invite my best friend, Blake. And thank God I invited Blake, because Blake is a part of my family. So I was like, Blake is going to be at my uncle's party. So she, like, obviously I can't come if she can't come. Like, it's a package deal, because I have to be running back and forth, and obviously Blake is going to be with me. I'm not just going to leave her at my house by herself. So obviously Brownie was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So the day before, a group of us go to H&M to try and find Brownie's birthday outfit. And with us was Tweedledee and Tweedledum. None of us liked Tweedledee and Tweedledum, because during that whole falling out, they also pressured like, when they were like telling me things that I need to change about myself, they also decided, and Tillicum the Whale, who moved to another school, she literally caused havoc, then left the school. They were like, shouted them on the bus. So there was a lot of tension, but Brownie was the only one. Brownie and I'm going to call her Hulk, because she looks like Hulk. I'm going to call her Hulk. So Brownie and Hulk were the only 2 mutuals that we had. Hulk, if you guys remember previously, if you guys watched my TikTok, I've done a TikTok story time about Hulk. Hulk is the friend that I had, who I was best friends with, who decided that she was in love with me, told me that she was in love with me, and when I didn't reciprocate her feelings, she then turned mean and nasty. So she was kind of the conductor of sitting me down around the breakfast table and telling me things that I need to change about myself. And that was one of the mean and nasty things she did. She would tell me how I looked ugly, about my body, about my skin, about my face. But you were in love with me last year, but now all of a sudden I'm ugly. So I decided to forgive her, because she was the only one who actually came up and apologized. So I forgave her, and I was like, whatever. So the only mutuals that Tweedledee, Tweedledum and my group had was Brownie and Hulk. And on that day where we all went to H&M, I basically made up with, well, I didn't make up with them, but we were kind of like cool. We were in like a chilled area. It'd been like over a year. I kind of was cool with Tweedledee and Tweedledum, because before it was big heavy beef. So I'd made up with them, like, and been cool with them for the first time in well over a year. And, you know, things were going all right. I was thinking, okay, Brownie's birthday tomorrow is going to be good. No one has an issue with me, allegedly. And also, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, we've sorted it. It's not a problem. So Brownie's birthday happens now, and during the party I come obviously quite early, because I literally live like 2 minutes away, and I wanted to make sure that I have time to also help set up with my mum and be going back and forth and help her with that. So I come early. There's not really many people there. My ex, light bulb, my ex, bulb, is not there yet, and none of his friends are there. Illuminati's not there, Blackie's not there, Blacker isn't there, and there's also other people that obviously know about the situation and that I've heard don't like me, and also the girl that they were at the sleepover with who texted me. So none of them are there, so I'm feeling quite at ease. And then obviously I'm kind of on edge, because I don't like this guy at all. Like, he gives me a bad vibe. He's thrown a Lucozade boil at my head. I don't know what's gonna happen. So my friend Brownie is like, okay, they're on their way. I was like, let me go and pick up my friend from the train station, so who is also in our group, mutual friend or whatever. So I went and picked up my friend. I'm gonna call her Jerusalem. I went and picked up Jerusalem from the train station, and on the way back I was like, oh my god, should I get some alcohol? So I had a Voss bottle. If you guys know what a Voss bottle is, you know I've been that bitch from day. Everyone thought they were bougie when they had a Voss bottle. So my Voss bottle was big and it was glass, so I filled it, let's say it's this much, and it's thick like that as well, right? It's like that. I filled probably like this much up with Ray's, and then the rest I filled with Coca-Cola, right? It was strong. It was strong. So we were all drinking it. So there's another friend. Sorry, I know this is a lot to keep up with, but I'm going to try and help you guys out. So there is another friend who was in my friendship group, yeah? The friendship group that I was in with Brownie and Hulk, right? Brownie and Hulk. And Jerusalem and India, that's another friend, and India, and then let's call her Paris, right? We were all in a group. We were a solid group. And I just come and picked up Jerusalem, and I brought Paris with me. So we stop off at my house. Obviously, the party's not even started yet. So I was like, let me sneak some rays off the table, fill up my boss bottle. We're all drinking it throughout, you know, us going back. By the time we get back to the party, Light Bulb and all his little cronies are there. I'm feeling on edge. I'm feeling nervous, guys. I can't lie. I was doing a madness this day. I can admit it. So we were all drinking. And then my best friend Blake, she then comes. She's drinking as well. We are drinking. We are drunk. I am the most drunk out of everyone. I start running around, singing J. Cole. I'm in my element. I'm in my vibe. 15-year-old Nicole did not get opportunities to get drunk that often. I was in my vibe, right? And I was loving it. So then there was this other girl. I'll call her by her name. Her name was Michelle. And I didn't like Michelle from year 7. And Michelle was laughing at me. So I shoved her. I shoved her. And I think that's when people were a bit like, what's going on here? Because I was a little bit out of control. And I don't know if Bulb was drunk that day, but the way he was behaving like he was drunk. And guys, I was avoiding this guy at all costs. Like, I wasn't making eye contact with him. I was trying to stay on like the other end of the room as him, because quite honestly, I didn't want the wahala. And I didn't think it was necessary, and I thought, well, they have no problems with me, so, you know, it shouldn't really be an issue. Let me just do my thing and enjoy myself, you know, a little enjoyment. So, his little sister, I'm going to call her Poppy. I don't know. So, his little sister, Poppy, mind you, I'm friends with Poppy. She's there as well. She's just vibing. She's 2 years younger than us. So, everything is kind of spinning for me at this point. Everything's going a bit weird. And I told you about Illuminati and some other boy. They came up and spoke to me and was like, oh, what have you been drinking? Have you got any more? I was like, oh no, like I haven't got any more, because I generally didn't. I wasn't walking all the way back home for these guys who I don't even like. I was like, I don't really have any more. And they were just talking, and they were talking to me, basically trying to bless it. And they were like, oh yeah, we all know where you live, Nicole. You live at number. And then they said my door number. So I was thinking, why am I such a hot topic in this church that these people know my door number? You've never been to my house. Bulb had never been to my house. The only one who'd been to my house was Black Car and Brownie that was in that church. And I thought that is really weird that these people know my door number. Like, I thought that was strange. So I'm just vibing now. So now we go outside. Mind you, I am not the only one who's drunk. Paris is drunk. Jerusalem isn't drunk. Paris is drunk. And then I don't know about the rest of them. But I know that Paris and Hulk defo drank some of that lethal Ray and Coke mixture that I conjured up in the boss bottle. I remember we were all drinking it and we were all saying how we were feeling it. I obviously drank more than everyone else. I can admit that. But yeah. So we're outside and Brownie is like, okay, guys, the party's done. Like, we need to get everyone going. And we were like, all right, cool. And I was like, oh, the party's done already. And then Bulb comes out of nowhere, mind you. I've been avoiding him for the whole night. He comes out of nowhere, stands next to me, and then starts flirting with one of the awful looking church girls. I was thinking, brother, it's been how many years? I was thinking, I don't care. I just completely ignored him. And I think that's what low-key burnt him inside and made him act the crazy way that he did. So I was just like, right, okay, carry on, moving on. So Paris now is leaning up against one of the church people, and they're all saying, okay, like, the party's done, like, we need to go home, like, we need to get everyone out from inside and we need to go. So I was already outside, a group of us were already outside, and then they start going to me, Nicole, you need to go, Nicole, you need to leave. And Paris is like, yeah, Nicole, you need to leave, you need to go. I was thinking, first of all, you're meant to be my brethren, and why out of everyone that is not moving, that is not leaving, are you telling me to go? Go home, you're embarrassing yourself. How am I embarrassing myself when I haven't even spoken to any of you? When I haven't made eye contact, and now you guys are using it as an opportunity to come and attack me? I was like, how am I embarrassing myself? What the hell? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I was like, no, don't talk to me like that. Like, and Bob starts talking. I said, don't you even talk to me. Mums, I don't want to hear from you. Mums, I don't want to hear a word that comes out of your mouth. So he's chatting. They're all ganging up on me. My friend included, right? Paris, that snaky little nasty piece of work. All of them, all ganging up on me, telling me about, you need to go. And my friend Blake, this is why I will have Blake's back foot into the world and back. She was like, why are you all picking on Nicole? Why does she have to be the one to go home? I don't see any of you guys making movements to go home. There's still people inside that are refusing to even come outside, but you guys are choosing to pick on Nicole. Like, it's very weird. These are the same people that apparently have no problem with me, but they're trying to get me to go home. So me and Blake start walking down the driveway of the church, because I'm just like, you know what, whatever, I'm just gonna go. We start walking down the driveway, and then as I'm walking down the driveway, the birthday girl Brownie starts crying. I didn't even know Brownie was crying, guys, because I was walking away, because I was like, you know what, if these people want to be horrible, just leave it alone. So I turned back, right? I just turned back to see what's going on. Why do I see Bulb charging at me like a mammoth? This boy is 6 foot odd. At the time I was like 5'6". He's charging at me like a mammoth, and he's like, you made the birthday girl cry, shouting in my face. He's trying to jump on me, guys, this big ass boy. I'm like Taranted. I'm like, what is going on? And my friend Blake is like, are you stupid? I told him, he tried to come at me. People start holding him back. I shoved him off me, because are you mad? No one's going to touch me. No one's touching me. No one is touching me. I shoved him off him because he's a 6 foot odd boy charging at me. His little sister, who is 2 years older, then starts shouting about, don't you touch my brother. Are you... Whenever I tell the story, I have to ask myself, are these people insane? I said, what do you mean don't touch your brother? Tell your ugly brother not to touch me. Tell your facially challenged brother not to charge up in a girl's face like a mammoth. I said, you guys have no home training. I'm now shouting and screaming. The birthday girl's crying even more. I was like, what is going on? I said, this is disgusting. I said, this is weird. I'm like, you know what? Bun this. I'm walking away. So I walk down the road towards my house, but I end up sitting down, and Blake is the only person. Mind you, that place was full of my friendship group. To be fair, right? This is very important. So Jerusalem, at this point, early in the party, she was like, Nicole, my phone is dying. Can I go into your house and charge it? My mum loved her. She'd been in my house 1,000 times before. So she was actually laying on this very bed. And charging her phone while all of this happened, right? She was laying on this bed and charging her phone while all of this happened. India had actually walked to the bus stop and got on the bus home because she really wasn't feeling the party, because the party was dead, quite honestly. So India had walked home and Jerusalem was on my bed. So I just made up, mind you, the day before, and I'd been talking to them in the party, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Also, I had Hulk, who's meant to be my friend, and Paris. But Paris had just been ganging up on me with the church people down. That's why I have to call them, the church people down. So I'm sitting on the road. I'm thinking, what a life. Because not Hulk, and mind you, Brownie's crying, but not Hulk, not Paris, not Tweedledee or Tweedledum have come to check on me and ask me if I'm okay, when this boy has just flown into my face. This 6 foot old boy has just flown into my face. So now I'm upset and I'm crying on the road. And the only person who was there to comfort me was Blake. Was my best friend. She was the only person like, Nicole, are you okay? Like, let's get you up, let's get you home. And also this boy that she'd met that day, who had been trying to move to her, who she ended up dating for 2 years. She met him on this catastrophic day because he was Brownie's cousin or whatever. There's a lot of incest going on in that church. I don't know. So I'm crying and I'm upset. So now I see, this is where it gets peak. Now I see Poppy, his little sister who's 2 years younger, and Hulk walking towards my house, right? My house is a straight road. If you want to go to the bus stop, you go there. You don't have to walk on my road to go to the bus stop from the church. You literally just go straight. So my road is here. The church is here. You literally just go straight. And they live where they live. It's literally a 3-minute walk. There is nowhere that they were going other than my house, right? So I'm seeing them walk towards my house and I'm thinking, are you delirious? I said, are you mad? So after all of that, no one's come and checked on me, but you who was just trying to get up in my face with your nasty, rank and feisty brother, and you, Hulk, who didn't do a thing or has checked to see if I'm okay, is walking towards my house. So me, myself, I stand up and I'm like, are you crazy? I said, why the hell are you walking towards my house? I'm telling you on Monday, don't chat to me and get away from my road. Poppy must have thought she was big and bad now. Poppy must have thought she was big and bad now, guys, because why? It's across the road. Why does Poppy come charging towards me, guys? I was like, are you insane? Back then I used to wear Air Maxes. I pick up my foot and I boot her. I boot her in her chest. Yeah? I pick up my leg because she's trying to run across the road, do what her mammoth ass brother did. I was like, what is these people's problem with running up on me? She, at 2 years younger than me and very much shorter than me because I've always been tall, tries to run across the road. I pick up my leg and I boot her onto the ground. Because I'm thinking, are you crazy? Why are you coming and attacking me just because I told you to get away from my road? Are you that obsessed with me? I know you want to yam my front and I'm saying no. So I was like, what the hell is going on? I said, get up off the floor. I said, you think you're a big woman now? I said, get up off the floor. I'm standing there. I've got Blake here. I'm going to call him Mr. Grey because he has grey hairs and I don't like him. And Mr. Grey there. So, now, why does her insane brother, Bob don't rest, guys. Bob don't rest. He sees that his sister has flown across the road to try and what to me, I don't know, because it wasn't a punch she was trying to do because there was no way it would have worked. Run across the road to try and fight me. He's now seen that obviously I boot the sister on the floor. I've left the sister on the floor, guys. One thing about me, once the person's on the floor, I will leave them on the floor. Everyone knows that. So he's now come and run around straight down to me and has thrown me into the metal fence behind, and then got in his arm and put me in a chokehold. Guys, I couldn't breathe. My toes are lifting up from the floor and he's shouting and he stinks. And I thought my life flashed before my eyes. I swear to God, he was doing it. And do you know what? The worst part of it is Tweedledee, Tweedledum, Hulk, Brownie, and all the other boys that were there all stood there and watched while this 6-foot-old boy choked me out. And once again, the only person who tried to do something was Blake. Blake is slim and she's short. And she was like, no, are you crazy? Get off her. Tweedledee then holds Blake back from stopping Lightbulb from choking me out. I'm resting. I'm trying to get him off me. I can't breathe. Like, he's closing out my throat at this point. I remember seeing Hulk stand right in front of me and just look in my face while this boy is choking me out. Look in my face. I was shocked. I finally got him off me, and that's when I was like, no, I am calling my brother. I was like, are you insane? I have got a house full of insane Jamaican people right now. I said no, because if we want to be doing family gang business, we can do family gang business. You better know. So I'm trying to call my brother. Illuminati snatches my phone out of my hand and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm calling my brother. Are you insane? He's like, you're just going to escalate the situation. So I just got choked. I actually just got choked, and you're saying my brother coming to back me up. That's me escalating the situation. You should have checked your boy. Because these people, when they're telling the story, they like to try and say that Nicholas is insane. That's my older brother. You better know. Nicholas is insane, and so am I. So I call my brother. He's not picking up the phone. And guys, it was like something out of an Avengers movie, yeah? It was like something out of an Avengers movie. My brother, my two cousins, and my uncle and my mum come charging down the road because unbeknownst to me, someone had sent Paris to my house and said something's happening at the end of the road. Mind you, Jerusalem is still on my bed this whole time and doesn't know what's going on. So then my family's come up and he's like, my brother's like, what's going on? Bulb has taken himself and run to the station. Has run, I would say, a good 0.7, maybe 0.5 miles. He's run to the station as soon as he saw my brother. They had this big chunky friend, I'm gonna call him Chunky Monkey. Chunky Monkey wanted some attention, yeah? And starts trying to bulk up to my brother, like, what? My brother now thinks this is Bulb who's come and attack me. Who's came and attacked me. And my brother's like, what the hell? My cousins are holding my brother back. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you're not so hard now. I said, where's Bulb? Tell him to come choke me out again. One thing about me, when my brother gets involved, I can get loud. So they've all dispersed now. They're trying to run away. They're trying to leave. Yada, 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 yada. So Brownie's dad is a fireman. And he's basically trying to diffuse the situation, trying to calm everyone down. So by these times, yeah, people have run away. It's settling down. I am sobbing my eyes out. I'm in complete and utter despair. I'm so upset. And I said to Hulk, I said to Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and I said to Paris, I said, none of you ever speak a word to me again. Are you the craze? I said, none of you ever chat to me again. You all stood there and let that boy attack me and you didn't do a thing. You even had the audacity to hold back the only person who was actually trying to help me. I said, no. And then Paris starts crying. So I'm like to Brownie, like, I'm so sorry it all turned out like this. Like, I was blaming myself. I feel like it was my fault, which now I know it was not. I was like, I'm so sorry this all turned out like this. Like, I just felt so bad. She was crying. But the reason that she was originally crying was not even my fault. She was crying because I asked her, I said, was I the reason that you were crying? She was like, no, I was crying because no one would listen and no one would go home. Like, you were actually walking away. So what I'm hearing is these people just used it as an excuse. It doesn't stop there. So I now go home and I'm crying to my grandma, laying on my grandma's bed, absolutely sobbing my eyes out. And I think I get a call from Brownie. Brownie doesn't ask, Nicole, are you all right? Nicole, are you okay? She just goes, Nicole, you can't go to the police. I said, what do you mean? She goes, Nicole, you can't go to the police because my dad is a civil servant, and if it gets brought up that he was involved in a street brawl, he's going to lose his job. So I'm ringing you and telling you, you can't go to the police. I'm like, you haven't even rung and asked me if I'm okay, what's going on with me, blah, blah, blah. This is the same day, this is like an hour later, but you've rung to make sure that your dirty ass dad doesn't lose his job. No, I couldn't believe these people were real. I could not believe these people are real. And then I get a call from another number, and this is Poppy and Bulb's older sister, who's like 30 odd, are ringing me and asking me where my brother is. And they were like, can we talk to your brother? I said, no, you can't talk to my brother because my brother's out. Nicholas was in the garden, like, enjoying the family party. And she was like, I'm concerned that your brother is walking around the area hunting my brother. I was like, is your brother not locked up in the yard? I said, like, what's the problem? I actually have your brother's address. So if I wanted to drop his addy, I could. And she was basically just chatting a load of rubbish. Wanted to talk to my mum and basically was like, okay, me and my mum and my dad are gonna come to the church at the end of the road so we can all talk and we can all have a discussion. So my mum goes by herself, right, because she said it was just gonna be, no, the sister originally said it would just be her. So she was like, my mum was like, I'll just come by myself because if I tell anyone like where I'm going, like, it's going to be uproar, like, people are going to want to come and beat people up now. So my mum goes, and it's the sister, it's the older sister, the older brother who drives a car and pulls out the car and nearly hits my mum with the car and then speeds away to the point the family had to apologise. And then it is the dad, and the mum. So they're just talking. My mum was like, he needs to apologize to my daughter because he can't just go around and do that. And she was like, oh, well, he was just defending his little sister. And my mum was like, well, he wouldn't need to defend his little sister if his little sister didn't think she was a big woman and try and fight a girl who's 2 years older than her. And yeah, and they were just talking. The mum was being a bitch, but I mean, that just seems like the type of character that she is. And yeah, they agreed that what he did was wrong and it was bad, and basically begged, please don't go to the police, and yada yada yada, and said that he would apologize tomorrow. So then Sunday comes and I get a message from him and he apologizes. I've got the message on my phone to this day. He apologizes for what he did, and so on and so on. I don't even reply to the message. I just screenshot it and keep it moving. I know that I can rise all these receipts. I also took pictures of my arm, because where he threw me into the fence, I had scratches all up my arm. And I took pictures of those, and I will put them in here if I still have them. I hadn't posted anything on social media about it or told anyone outside of that friendship group what had happened, because I was honestly quite traumatized. I was really upset and shaken up by the situation, and I really didn't want to talk about it. So I hadn't really told anyone, but obviously they had done the talking. So on the Sunday, I went out with my other group of friends, and obviously they were the only people that I really told like what happened. The only people in school. I hadn't spoken to anyone else, but I'm getting a text message from a girl who I was friends with, but who was also in a friendship group with Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and was like, oh, wow, I can't believe your behavior, Nicole, or something like that, right? This is meant to be my friend. She hasn't heard anything from me. But that's when I realized that they were going around and spreading the situation. So I was like, I just completely aired her message. And then I was like, let me ring Jerusalem and talk to Jerusalem, because Jerusalem's a very nice girl. And I felt like, obviously, she didn't see what had happened. So I was thinking, let me just tell her from my perspective. So I explained the whole story to her about like what happened. These edges are not even. Anyway, I just explained the whole situation to her, basically about what happened. And I was like, don't you think that's crazy? She was like, oh yeah, if it happened like that. I was like, what do you mean? Because by this time I thought, okay, well, we can all agree that I got attacked. Like, whether you agree with the reason I got attacked or not, I thought, you know, it's a thing that we all know that happened. She was like, well, you know, they're telling me a completely different story. And I was like, what do you mean they're telling you a completely different story? They're telling me that you were so drunk you don't even know what happened. Guys, I drink, right? And I've never been a drunk where I can not remember a single thing that has happened. I have a very good memory, and unless I'm passed out, I know what is going on. So I'm like, so what are you saying, that you don't believe me? She was like, oh well, I don't know. So I was like, let me just hang up the phone. So I just hung up the phone on her, and I was just like, bye. Because what I really don't need right now is people basically trying to frame me as a liar when I've just gone through what I've gone through. I was like, that is not the vibe. So Monday morning, I don't go into school because I have visits home due, and quite honestly, I didn't want to see anyone. And obviously, I'd received that text message from the mutual friend that I had, was basically like, oh, wow, I'm really disappointed, or whatever. So I'm coming to school now, and lunchtime, I sit with my other friendship group, and Jerusalem tried to come up and talk to me, and I was like, I don't have anything to say to you, basically, like, I don't want to talk to you. And I just completely ignored her. And then my friend in that new friendship group had the class with Jerusalem next. We literally had one lesson, and it was English. So I was like, talk to Jerusalem and see what they're telling people, because I genuinely want to know what they're saying. She talks to Jerusalem now, guys. She talks to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is telling her that the rest of the people, Brownie, Hulk, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and Paris. Mind you, Paris wasn't there either, because Paris had gotten sent to my house. Okay, let me backtrack. And Paris, right? But what I didn't realise until afterwards is, remember I told you guys I was ringing my brother and he wasn't picking up the phone, and then all of a sudden he came charging down the road? That's because they had sent Paris, when I was obviously shouting, when it all kicked off originally, when he flew up in my face originally, they had sent Paris to my house without me knowing to get my mum and my brother, and basically said like something's going on at the end of the road. So Paris wasn't there, and India wasn't there, and Jerusalem weren't there when it actually occurred. But they are going around and telling everyone that that Bulb never put his hands on me, that I was a drunk mess just shouting in everyone's faces, and that none of that actually happened. That I did not get put in a chokehold, I did not get thrown into a fence, and no one charged up on me, and no one charged up in my face. That's what they were going around telling people. And I was like, are you being for real? I've literally got pictures of the marks on my arms. I've literally got an apology. He sent me an apology. Why would he send an apology for something he didn't do? Does that make any sense whatsoever? Why would you apologize to someone if you did not do it? He wasn't apologizing saying, oh, I want us to be friends again. He was apologizing because he knew that he'd be in trouble if he didn't apologize, because I would go to the police, because he put his hands on me, and because I've got evidence of him doing that. So I was now really pissed. So I was like, you know what? Let me go. This is mad girl Nicole time. I'm fuming. I'm so angry. So I see them all at the bus stop outside of school, and especially Brownie is going around telling people that, especially Brownie, because she rang me to make sure that I didn't go to the police and tell the police about the street brawl, but she's going around telling people that he didn't put his hands on me. So I was like, are you insane? I said, are you mad? Like, nah. I said, nah, this can't run. I went up to them and I said, where's Brownie? They said, oh, she's gone to the gym. Guys, this girl's never touched gym in her life. When we used to go to Nando's, this girl used to get a whole chicken. I'm thinking she's gone to the gym. Okay. I was like, so why are you going around telling people? Why are you not going around telling people that he did not put his hands on me? They were like, because he didn't. Paris answers and like, because he didn't. I was like, you shut the hell up. I said, are you mad? I said, you weren't even there. What are you talking about? She just like, and starts putting on her lip gloss. Then Tweedledee or Tweedledum starts saying, well, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I said some horrible choice of words to her that I cannot put on the internet, but I wish I said more. Then Hulk starts chatting. I was like, are you mad? I said, are you insane? I said, don't you talk. And he was like, don't talk to her like that. I was like, don't you talk. I said, you stood there and you watched while he put his hands on me. And she was like, I helped. So, no. At first she said, he didn't do anything. I said, so why did he apologize? They all went silent. They went on the bus. I was screaming and shouting at them. Then, guys, imagine, my mom gets a call from the school. I've gone home now. I'm in my bed. My mom gets a call from the school. Where is Nicole? Why is she out on the streets looking for Brownie? I was in my bed. My mom was like, she's in her bed. Then the next day at school, they've gone to the school and told them that I'm going around hunting people down on the road, which I was not doing, guys. I was just like, let me talk to Brownie. Brownie wasn't there. Then I had a conversation with her on the phone, also saying that I was threatening to beat up Poppy that day. Poppy wasn't even in school that day, and neither was I. And it just turned into a whole piece of mix-up. So then months later, a friend of mine must have asked Hulk, why did you not help Nicole? And she went, oh, I did help Nicole. I did try and help. But I thought you said he never touched me. So what did you try and help? And then a month after that, it all came out. She was saying, oh yeah, the reason I didn't help Nicole was because she pissed me off that day. Because I know that she can carry the weight of 1,000 men the size of her, like, not in a rude way, but she's, like, tall, and she's, like, hench, you get what I'm saying? So she could have actually helped in the situation, but instead she's decided to stand there and stare in my face. I know you're in love with me, you told me that already, but if you're so in love with me, maybe help me out a little bit. Long story short, I cut off all of them, didn't speak to any of them again, but Hulk is so obsessed with me, guys, that she found out that I was chatting to a boy in year 11 because she overheard me talking in class. Say the boy's name was, Apple. She heard me talking about Apple in class, and then was going around to every GC in school that she was in and asking, oh my god, you guys know who Apple is? Do you guys know who Apple is? Nicole's apparently talking to some boy called Apple. I had to ask her, can you please stay out of my business? Why are you so obsessed with finding out what I'm talking about? I got my friend to set her up and go, oh, you're trying to find out who Apple is? The one that Nicole's talking to. She's like, yeah. Do you know anything about it? So obsessed with me, guys. These people are so obsessed. Do you want my liver? Do you want my blood? Do you want my brains? Because you can't have it. So I was just like, no. I had to actually ask her, can you leave me alone? It's very creepy. It's very stalker-like. Leave me the hell alone. I never spoke to any of them again. I had 1 or 2 conversations with Jerusalem on the last day of school. That was just because emotions were high, but I can't stand her either. Never spoke to them ever again. Cut off all ties. I don't even know what they're doing with themselves now. But I do know they look a state, because sometimes people, you know, sometimes I've seen them on road and it's not looking good, bruv. That's all I've got to say. It's not looking good. But yeah, that's basically the whole story of the time my year 8 ex tried to, you know, strangle me. I have to edit this 55-minute video and get it uploaded by tomorrow, because I actually need content on my YouTube channel. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below what you liked about the video, what you want to see on the channel, you know, just the usual. Make sure that you follow all my social media as well, so you can be up to date with me and what I'm doing when I'm not posting on YouTube. And make sure that you click the notification bell so you are alerted when I post on YouTube, because I promise I will post more. I will get better. You just have to, you know, have a little faith. But thank you guys for watching my video, and I will see you next time.